you so much. We're going to now welcome in the rest of the panel. Would you like to come in, guys? And girls? Hei. Velkommen. Det var koselig å se deg. Hei, Ingebjørg. Hei. 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 Koselig. So, Richard, I think you have met one of your Norwegian colleagues here. I hope you get a chance to talk also after. I'm going to turn this on just to see how much time we have and to be able to follow that, because I know we have a lot of people who would like to say a lot of things. I'll do a quick introduction. Nicolai is previously what we call in Norwegian a pøbel. I don't know what that is in English. A rabble, it says here in my notes. But do you have that expression in English, rabble?
Well, I don't want to insult him, so and he sat next to me.
No.
I think the expression is probably really, really nice young man.
Yes, you know, they have a project here in Norway. It's one of our partner projects called the Rabble Project. Okay. So that's why it's actually a positive thing, and it comes from, Nicolai can tell us more about that himself after. Today he works in the project himself, and this is one of the projects that our foundation cooperates with. Nicolai has his own experience of what works and what doesn't work when you meet, when you are a young man in a difficult life situation and you need to go through some kind of education. So Nicolai is a great hip-hopper and wants to become a full-time musician, and he wants to do this because he wants to inspire other young people. Ingebjørg Mæland is one of my big heroes.
Thank you.
Yeah. She's the head of the Work Institute in Buskerud, also one of our the projects that we work very closely with. And we feel very fortunate to be able to take part in that. Arbeidsinstituttet is an incredible place where Ingebjørg and her team meet young individuals in an often vulnerable period of their life, and they managed to dig out the gold. And Tina here, Sidskov, is a student at Arbeidsinstituttet who has really felt their approach through a difficult period in her life. Tina's goal is to become a farmer. She has also taken on the aim of guiding other youngsters who are in a similar and challenging phase, and to guide them in their education. So I would like to start with Tina. I'm going to sit a little bit like this, because then I can see you all better. Tina, tell me a little bit about you when you came to Arbeidsinstituttet and how they managed to transform your life in a way.
It's not so easy to explain the difference because it's so big. When I first came to Arbeidsinstituttet, I was a whole different person from who I am today. I can't recognize, actually. So, but I was so quiet. I have no self-confidence, and I felt like I have losing the control of my life. And I'm was going on this high school, videregående.
Yeah, high school.
I tried at least for 1 year, and when it didn't work out, I was coming in contact with Arbeidsinstituttet and Ingebjørg, and and then I think when I first came there, the first day, I think that was the time when it all kind of stopped in a positive way. Yeah, and I begin to moving forward. And
Tell me, what happened in Arbeidsinstituttet that day that made it change?
I think it is the way they speak to, they meet me when I came there, and the way they speak to me and see the person I was at that time, and not all the things in the past, and give me the opportunity to to change in my in the way I felt was most comfortable, and it was going so fast, the change. So it was all the people and that they actually believe in me. For real.
Yeah.
And that's no.
But that's quite a good feeling, no?
Yeah.
When people believe in you for real, huh?
Yeah.
It's very important.
So
I know, Tina, we've met several times, and I know Tina's now a very accomplished role model for a lot of other people in the same situation as her. And what I love seeing about young people like you who've gone from a phase where you really didn't feel well about yourself, and then when you're given a possibility and people see you, you've decided also to use that in a way to inspire other young people. And I think that's so fantastic that you use that possibility, and it's always that when you've been seen, you want to help see others. And I see this with a lot of young people from all the projects that we work in, that's one of the results. And Richard, you also mentioned a little bit about that in your story, that when people are seen and given the opportunity, it really creates such a ripple effect of positivity.
Yeah. Massive. I mean, you know, what we have to remember is an education system should be about empowerment, not about control. And the problem with so much of the mainstream systems around, particularly the Western world, is they're designed by people who have a view that it's to train people to fit into existing structures and systems. And therefore, to a lot of young people, particularly young people that come from very disrupted and difficult backgrounds, that feels so alien, so controlling, and so dehumanizing. And what's really amazing to me is the greatest students I've ever worked with have come from some of the toughest families and some of the toughest backgrounds. And the thing is, the minute they feel that you're there to help them fulfill their potential, to unlock their dreams and to create aspirations and values, is the moment that you see those kids fly.
Yeah. I think we all can agree on this. Nicolai, tell us a little bit about your background in Pøbelprosjektet, also one of our partner projects. And what happened to you there?
Well, it was in 2008 when the Pøbelprosjektet started. But my background is that I don't like to blame anybody for my own mistakes, but my father was a drug addict and died when I was 12 years old. And that just crushed my whole world. So I just lost everything, because when you lose a role model, you lose your future. So I dropped out of school when I was able to do that, and I started doing drugs myself and just being a rebel, you know. And I didn't see no future for myself. And then I got involved with child services and stuff like that. And one day they just called me in 2008 and said that they have a proposition for me at a place called Pøbelprosjektet. And I said, I know Pøbel, then I hung up. Yeah. But I got a recommendation from a friend who went to the first course, and he said that you should just do it, because it's going to change your whole life. So I did it. And when I came to the course the first day, Eddie stood in the door when I was 10 minutes late. And you don't come late to the Pøbelprosjektet. You can't come late.
No.
You do not come late. So I was 10 minutes late, and when I opened the door, he just stood there and ut! That means out. Yeah. And so then I just stood there like, what am I going to do now? I just walked out on the streets again, and what the fuck I can't do anything. So I called my mom, of course.
Like we have a remarkable number of people. A remarkable number of people these days use that method, is to call their mom, which is... we heard about this yesterday in the panel as well, so I think it's a good strategy, it seems.
Yeah. So I called my mom, and she just called everyone. She even called the police. She called my stepfather, my grandmother, everybody. And all of them called Eddie. Yeah. They really fought for me. So Eddie called me and said, okay, you can come back and I will talk with you. So I came back and we talked for about an hour and became good friends with that talk. And he said, okay, you can come back. You got one more shot. So I got one more shot. And I came to the course. I finished the course for 6 weeks. And I became a car painter. That was sort of my dream because I wanted to do something creative. I'm very, very creative and I want to do something with that. So I became a car painter, but it wasn't for me because the environment at these workplaces is so different from what I am. Because, you know, I'm a hip-hopper, I wear big clothes and, you know, that you don't do that at these places. You don't talk like I do in those places. So, so I fell out again, and I started doing stupid stuff again, and I lost my job after 2 years. And when I lost my job, I lost my apartment. So I became homeless, and I was homeless for 7 months. And that was the roughest part of my life. It's very hard to talk about, actually. But in that period, I think Eddie got an intuition or something, because he just called me from out of nowhere and said, you have to come talk with me. So I came to talk with him, and he gave me a proposition to work at Pøbelprosjektet, to hold courses and tell my story, to inspire other kids to do the same as me, and to understand that it's possible if you just want it, and if you want it enough, you can do anything. You can do anything if you say you can do it.
Nicolai, last time when we prepared for this panel, you spoke about the magic.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the magic. What is the magic?
The magic at Pøbelprosjektet is kind of hard to explain, because at Pøbelprosjektet they look at people individually. They ask, what is your dream? They don't ask what school you want to go to or what job you want to do. They just ask, what's your dream? You have you can choose from 3 dreams, and we're going to make one of these dreams come true, 100%, definitely.
What was your dream?
My dream was to inspire others.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I do that.
Bravo. Yeah. Ingebjørg, I know this is very familiar thinking to what you do. Tell us a little bit about what your dream is.
Oh, my dream?
Yeah.
Oh, my dream is to take all the young people, all the older people, politicians, the decision makers, people from leaders from factories, industries, into the same room to develop the way we are going to go, to get everybody into the society, taking part of it, having good lives, because I think that's possible. We have enough knowledge, we have enough economy, so I think we can do that. But then I think if we are going to do that, we have to take the young people with us and ask them a lot of questions and make schools to be more organic systems, to understand that we are going to lead together.
Which is fantastic, because that's what you really have done at Arbeidsinstituttet, or the Work Institute, that you really treat the students as equals. And how do you do that?
I think we have built up a culture, because I think much of this depends on which culture do you want. And I want, and we want, we have developed it together, a culture where we take care of each other. It's not like we are just digging for gold at the youngsters. The youngsters and all of us are digging for gold all the time at each other. And therefore I think I have the best job in the world. And we do it constantly. I think we are lucky. We have found some strategies, some methods that we I think in many organizations we are telling a lot of what's not good, what's bad with the people, what are they doing wrong, and we are doing exactly this, the upside way.
Yeah.
What's good with the people? What's good what we are doing now? What can we learn from it? And what do we have to learn more to do it even better? Because I don't think we have found the best way to do things, but we are doing a lot of good things, and people are doing a lot of good things, and the young people they have potentials that we have to, what you say, to emerge. And then we also identify strengths. So I think a lot of those things that was told yesterday, that when you are using your strengths, when you do things to fulfill your dream, then you also get the energy out of all the people. And I think that's what we are doing together.
But tell me also, because you, like, first of all, I can highly recommend a visit to Arbeidsinstituttet, the Work Institute. It's not too far away in Drammen. And if you are not feeling too well about yourself, you can just go in there, because every time you get there, you just feel so happy, and you come out of there feeling like the best person in the world, because you're all about acknowledging the good part about each other. And I feel every time we're together, you make me feel very special. So thank you. But you do that to all the students there. And what I love about the project is that you take people like Tina, and you help her start believing in herself again, like you have. And Tina is really one of the most reflected young people I've ever met. And
that's true.
Yeah, really an inspiration. And I think what you do with them is you also take them, a bit like Nicolai as well, you take their experiences and you use that experience to go out in schools.
I think that's one of the parts we like best to do together, is to go to university, college, or to, if somebody of you want us to come, to have some courses where we are working with the culture, and then we also use the strategies. So you can do everything at the same time. So when we are together out telling other people and we plan this, we have a lot of fun and
It's not like
learn.
work.
Yeah, you can
Tina,
tell it.
Tina, tell us a bit about what is the key messages you give to other people when you teach them about the methods you use in Arbeidsinstituttet.
I think it's important that every person can dare to be open, and be themselves, because it's so hard if you all the time are going around and pretend that you're someone you're not are, and having this mask on your face, and that's maybe you live in 100 years. Why? You can do what you want, like him said, and we have all these people around us, and we can come in contact with each other instead of just walking like with machines or something. Yeah.
And I know when you use a very specific method to make sure that you get, or you find, you make people comfortable enough. And what's the method you use? We've used it several times together.
It's about telling a story, actually.
Yeah.
We begin with telling a story about a time where we felt we do something that makes us feel at our best, and it didn't need to be a big thing.
It can be very small things as well. You told me about a trip when you did something. Yeah, in Hardangervidda, and I think I told you about something else. So, and that really, and then the other person is supposed to retell that story, and you find the positive attributes that you can put on that story. And it's a very effective tool. But you have a lot of tools like this, Ingebjørg, that you go and take around to schools everywhere. Richard, I would like to say, how can you work systematically with teachers and with the school system at large to create this kind of positive thinking and digging out the gold in young students?
I think one of the things is we have to ensure that the teaching profession feels professional, that they feel empowered. I think partly the problem here is we have a profession that are used to being told what to do, and a lot of their own passions and instincts as to why they've become educators to an extent have been ground down, and they feel that they're delivering a system, and it's often why our students feel that they're receiving a system. When you get a chance to talk to teachers about their own passions, what they came into education for, what great education should be about. When you get them talking about their Gary stories, for example, what you see is a profound sense of humanity and purpose, but a huge frustration that that's kind of oppressed by some kind of system. And so for me, one of the things we need to do is engage in dialogue with teachers to allow them to express their passions more themselves, so that then they can project those passions more powerfully into the eyes of their students. So for me, the great job is reprofessionalizing the profession.
Which is music in your ears, Ingebjørg.
I love what you're saying, and that's the way we try to work.
Yeah.
And therefore, I also think when we take both the pupils, both the leaders, both the teachers into the same room, and we have this strategy to have those interviews Tina mentioned. And we are telling all this, you can call it galleries.
Yeah.
That was nice. We are talking about success stories, but gallery stories. And then we start this action research. What is the most important when you succeeded? Because when we start to talk about when we have succeeded, and we can start to find out what did we do? When we are doing something, and we need to be aware of it, because then we can do more of it. But we can't stop there. I think we have also then to say, and can we do something more that even increase it better?
I also, it's also about ensuring that teachers realize that education should be as much a celebration of allowing children to live in the moment, not just prepare for the future.
Oh, bravo, yeah.
There's a wonderful old story that I heard. John Holt, the famous progressive American educator, when he retired, started having cello lessons because it was one of the things on his list of things he'd always wanted to do but never had the time. And during his cello lessons with the music teacher he built a great relationship with, they had a cup of coffee one day to talk about his progress. And she was talking a lot about the progress and stuff. And she said, have you got any questions you want to ask me? And he said, just one. He said, I've been telling my friends now for months that I'm learning to play the cello. He said, when am I allowed to tell them that I'm playing the cello?
Oh.
And I think that's something we have to recalibrate about the perception of both education and childhood.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
But what happens when you start to talk about what you can and you actually do it and you have succeeded is that there is big enthusiasm into the room. And I think when you say the change came so quickly, I think it's because we are using enthusiasm. We are using this to speak about what we can do more than what we are not. Because in Norway, I think we have had kind of cultures. It's okay to tell when we don't succeed. It's not that okay to tell when we really succeed. That's more in Brazil or United States. Or
it's very embedded in our culture that we're not allowed to be good in a way at something. So I think it's a very important way of reframing that. Yes.
Yeah, because there are somebody that tells us that in organization we usually use 80% of the time to find out why thing goes wrong, and 20 to look after what's good. And we have to do it the different way. 80% to tell about.
I think I can learn a lot from that.
Yeah. And that's a big, because we have been told, and I think it's in the culture to do the opposite thing. So we don't need to exercise to look for wrong things or bad things, but we need strategy and we need to exercise to do the other way.
Yeah.
So then we need strategy and tools, I think.
Because Nicolai, that's what really happened to you at Pøbelprosjektet too, is, you know, people looked at you in a different way and looked at you, you know, as someone with resources. And how did that make you feel? Why was that, you know, you did a 6-week course and it changed your life in many ways.
Yeah.
What did they do?
Well, it's like I said, it's individually. They treat people different because they have different needs. You know, some people need more attention, some people don't need attention because they have a lot of attention elsewhere. But for me, it was, they gave me a lot of, I've always been nervous to talk to people because I've always been that since I was a kid. Not when I was a kid though. When I was a kid I was wild, but I grew up and I was very nervous. But they taught me how to take that away and to see that you don't have to be nervous because you're an awesome kid. They said that. And you have so many resources and they just lifted me up to the skies, you know. And yeah, they really helped me. If it wasn't for the Pøbelprosjektet, I probably wouldn't be here today. Yeah.
And now you go and talk to young people as an inspirator in Pøbelprosjektet. What is your main message to them?
Be yourself.
Yeah.
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 Be yourself.
Yay! Yeah. Are we allowed to be ourselves in our society, Ingebjørg? You think?
No,
or do we allow ourselves to be ourselves?
I think we are best at being ourselves, all of us. But I think we have made a kind of system that Richard are telling us a lot about, and which we have to do differently, and look more. We have a system where we have to organize it more like organism. Was that the word?
Organic.
Yeah, organic.
Yeah.
And if we start to look for the strengths in each of us, and we use them more, I think then we can be ourselves more, and then we will be more happy. The health will be better. We will actually also be more effective, and that can also be a
good thing.
good thing. Yeah. What I also have seen is Nicolai, the way to go out and tell other people, to go out together and do those kind of things, and go out of your own organization and take part into the society, and understand that one and each of us can do small things, but they are big when we are doing them, all of us. We can change things, and therefore also we have the young people into the leader group. I think we need to think differently about them too. So I think we are quite happy to. Yeah, we want to change the world together.
Yeah. And that's why I love, you know, the ethos of Arbeidsinstituttet. It's because you see really each other as partners. It's not about only, you know, in Arbeidsinstituttet everyone eats at the same canteen. It's not, you know, they don't have teacher rooms. I mean, it's not a way where you see the difference between the teachers and the pupils. And I think, but it's not only something that you've created in a physical form, it's also something you truly believe in as the most effective way to make change.
Yeah. And I was happy yesterday too when what is Timothy from Australia?
Yeah.
When he was talking about the democracy. Because I think, yes, we have to do this more differently too.
Yeah.
And now we have tools, and we have a lot of knowledge, and we have a lot of people. And you said something about academia. I also think we need to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Who owns the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, there's a wonderful old African saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And I think what we need to do is hold every element of society to account, to understand that the education of our children is a process of collaboration, and that everybody has an active role to play in that. We can't abdicate responsibility to other people for the way our generations develop. We all have to become active stakeholders in that process.
Well, I don't think I could have asked for a better ending to this session. Richard, one of the things you said in your intro, that you said that your teacher that you met changed the way you saw the world forever. I think Ingebjørg and all of the rest of you guys really have changed a lot of other people in the way they see themselves forever. So I want to thank you so much for that. And it's a pleasure for us at our foundation to be able to work with all these amazing projects. So thank you, all of you. And thank you for participating.
Thank you very much.